Hey, what's up guys? There's been a lot of panic going around about these companies without actual controlling shareholders. And recently, Alipay just got this hate with that label, and people are freaking out, man. They're all worried about safety of their monies. You know, most of Chinese guys has ever downloaded Alipay and they put a lot of money in the Alipay. But let me tell you, a lot of those interpretations you find online are just plain wrong. So, from a professional standpoint, I did some research, and I'm here to break it down for you today. What does it really mean to have no actual controlling shareholder? And what are the future implications of Alipay? Does it mean nobody's keeping an eye on the money anymore? And was Jack Ma forced to hand it all over? These are the questions that many concerned friends have been asking me lately. And I'm Sheila Wang, and I'm here to keep you updated on the latest and the freshest business and investment information. Make sure to smash that like button and subscribe my channel. I also want to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. And if you want a more detailed investing report, check out my analysis report down below. Alright, let's dive into today's topic together. Well, let's talk about what's happening with Jack Ma and Alibaba recently. First thing first, Jack Ma used to have a whopping 43% stake in the company, right? But now, guess what? He's down to just 6%. That's like voluntarily giving up control, man. And guess what else? Hongsheng Electronics also announced that during a stage of having no actual controlling entity. And as we all know, Hongsheng Electronics have something relationships with Jack Ma. It basically means that Jack Ma has completely given up on the financial sector, dude. And then let's take a look at the change since Alipay IPO back in 2020. Initially, they were valued at a mind-blowing $2.1 trillion, claiming the title of the biggest IPO in recent years. Ever since then, Alibaba has been struggling, man. Their market cap went from a peak of $840 billion to less than $200 billion now. And they even got surpassed by Pinduoduo. So if you want to know the details about how Pinduoduo surpassed Alibaba, you can check my former videos. And maybe some of you are curious about where's Jack Ma now. He's basically on a world tour, just chilling in the clouds, my friend. Now let's talk about Alipay, which has always been controversial, guys. Right from the start, it had conflicts with the regulation authorities. In the beginning, Jack Ma said that if anyone needed to step in it, he'd be the first one to do it. Then he said if the countries needed it, he'd give Alipay back to them anytime. And then he went on to see that if the banks didn't change, he'd change the banks. As Jack Ma's personal influence grew and he got more assertive, the IPO got halted in 2020. And guess who got hit the hardest by the halt? Yeah, it's the founder of Alipay himself, Jack Ma. And it's not just Jack Ma, but also the employees of Alibaba and Alipay. I have a few friends who work at Alipay, and after dreaming of making it big after IPO, they were wondering about living in luxury houses and driving fancy cars. But now, their fortunes are down by 60 to 70%, man. And there's another consequence too. Tighter regulation for Alipay definitely, whether it's Huawei or Yulebao. That we can imagine. At this point, a lot of people start speculating and making wild guesses. Most of these suspicions and their interpretations are just plain wrong, guys. Like there's this whole question about what the government's gonna to do with Alibaba, right? First, let's explain this concept of having no actual controlling entity, because it's only relevant when a company wants to go public in China's stock market. And as we know, there are over 100 companies without an actual controlling entity in China, like Yunnan Baiyao and Wang. And guess what? It doesn't affect their performance and operation at all. You know what I mean? I think Wang is doing just very well. Its financial performance is acceptable. So what does it actually mean? It's just a normal step in the process of going public. And here's another question people have. Does it mean that Alipay will be owned by the government now? Will it be nationalized? No, man. On the contrary, it shows that it's not being nationalized. Otherwise, you will be an actual controlling entity, right? Like the state-owned asset supervision and administration commissions, or some other state-owned enterprises taking control, right? But that's not the case here. So why did the People's Bank of China issue the statement? You may be asked this question. Well, because the central bank of overseas it's under their regulation, It falls under the Article 4 of the Non-Bank Payment Institution Regulatory Provisions, which states that it's under the jurisdiction of the People's Bank of China. Now, is it good or bad for a company to have no actual controlling entity? Here are some companies where the top 10 shareholders only own around 20% altogether. Take Apple, for example, which is the world's most valuable company, right? It's doing just fine and their ownership is pretty spread out. Coca-Cola is even more diversified in terms of the ownership, and it's been listed for over 100 years. And then there may be some people who start worrying about safety of the money in Alipay. Let me tell you, guys, you don't need to worry about it at all. The safety of Alipay funds is regulated by the central bank. Now let's looking back at the journey of Alipay and the whole Ant Group. The core reason behind all this change is its massive impact. Alipay isn't just some private company level application anymore, man. It's become a crucial player that affects national data security, user information security, international user safety, international reputation, and even national power games. It has truly become a national treasure. Ant Group, especially with Alipay leading the way as a financial platform, is a behemoth that gathers massive amount of data and hundreds of millions of users. It has more advantages than major banks and a solid user base for consumer spending. User data they have is not just comprehensive, but also in depth. They can analyze and understand every little detail about your financial situation, from your spending habit to loan transaction and transfers. No bank can compete with such extensive and comprehensive financial big data. And let me tell you, this data on a technical level are crucial for user and national financial system stability and security, right? That's why the government is stepping in. They're taking charge of data, cloud computing, blockchain, and other technological research, as well as development of AI intelligence industries. To provide valuable data, such strategic financial resources must and will be controlled by the country. So that is what Chinese government thoughts. Learning from the lessons of Alipay, can we really see that the feet of other payment giants far off? Lastly, let's talk about the highly anticipated Ant Group IPO issue. Maybe not long after the new year, we will hear the news of IPO relaunch. Now, how does this IPO affect the stock market? Well, it mainly depends on the financing and the offering price. You know what I mean, right? But the most important thing is before making any judgments, you're gonna rely on your own feelings. But after that, you can look at a financial report which will provide a more objective and transparent view of whether Alipay is really on the right track. It means that they might actually go public in the future. And you know what? Domestic investors will get to share the dividend brought by the growth of internet unicorn companies. That's something to look forward to, guys. So that's all about today. Alipay. See you next time.